Remember when travel still felt romantic? When a ticket to Europe meant cobblestone streets, tiny cafes, and the trip of a lifetime. Somewhere along the way, that magic got buried under overpriced coffee, endless lines, pickpockets, and crowds so dense you can't even see the view you came for. Today, we're counting down the world's most overrated travel destinations. Places so hyped they've forgotten how to be enjoyable. These are the cities and landmarks that look stunning in postcards, but feel like a theme park once you're actually there. And trust me, our first stop is one of the most visited cities on Earth, a supposed symbol of elegance that now feels more exhausting than enchanting. So here's a quick challenge for you. What's the one place you've always dreamed of visiting, but deep down, you suspect might disappoint you? Drop it in the comments. You might just see it appear on this list. Alright, pack your patience and keep a hand on your wallet. Let's start with number 15, a destination that proves even the most iconic cities can lose their magic. Number 15, Paris. Paris, the city of love, lights, and, let's be honest, letdowns. For generations, Americans have dreamed of strolling along the Seine, sipping espresso under striped awnings, and living their own movie montage. But when you finally get there, the magic fades faster than your phone battery at the Louvre. Let's start with the crowds. Paris hosts over 30 million visitors a year, which means the city's romance often feels like standing in line at Disneyland, just with better bread. Every corner of Montmartre, every cafe terrace, every photo spot beneath the Eiffel Tower is packed with selfie sticks, street vendors, and aggressive scammers. Love is in the air, more like exhaust fumes and cigarette smoke. Then there's the price tag. A croissant that costs €1.50 to locals somehow triples in tourist zones. Hotel rooms are the size of your carry-on, and taxis seem to charge by disappointment. One recent traveler put it perfectly. Paris looks like heaven from afar and smells like cigarettes and crepes once you land. Safety? Let's just say romance isn't the only thing that's pickpocketed daily. Metro stations are crowded, and tourists, especially seniors, are prime targets for slick thieves. Locals, meanwhile, are understandably tired of the chaos, which can make service feel, let's say, brisk. To be fair, Paris can still charm you if you know where to hide. Early mornings along Canal Saint-Martin, a picnic in Parc des Buttes-Chaumont, or a quiet moment at a bakery off the tourist trail. That's where glimpses of the real Paris still live. But for most visitors, the city's beauty has been buried under its own fame. Paris isn't dying, it's just drowning in admiration. And if the city of love lands at the very bottom, what famous capital somehow manages to climb just a little higher? Number 14, Rome. They say history speaks, but in Rome, it yells. Every corner echoes with emperors, saints, and scooter horns, all competing for your attention while someone charges you €12 for a gelato that melts faster than your patience. It's the city where every corner promises a masterpiece, and every other corner sells plastic keychains of it. Visiting Rome is like dating a celebrity, beautiful, dramatic, and absolutely exhausting. The chaos starts before you even reach the Colosseum. Taxi drivers circle like vultures. Guides offer miracle skip-the-line tours that lead nowhere. And the sidewalks? A full-contact sport. Crossing the street feels like divine intervention. Half faith, half speed. Ancient ruins may be everywhere, but so are pickpockets who work them like open-air ATMs. And then there's the heat. Not the gentle Mediterranean kind, but an asphalt-melting inferno that turns sightseeing into slow roasting. The city's marble glows like a pizza oven, and shade is a luxury traded for bottled water. By midday, tourists line up at fountains not to admire them, but to dunk their heads. Still, Rome rewards persistence. Step away from the chaos, 2 streets from the Trevi Fountain, 3 minutes past the souvenir stalls, and it transforms. You'll find nuns buying pastries, locals arguing over espresso strength, and that unfiltered hum that feels timeless. Rome is intoxicating when it forgets it's famous. One weary traveler put it bluntly, Rome has 2 speeds, chaos and espresso. And that's true. It's loud, it's messy, but it's also alive in a way that no modern city dares to be. So yes, it's slightly better than Paris, but only because when the dust scams, and traffic finally settle, the city still manages to remind you why it became eternal in the first place. Number 13. Venice. In Venice, dreams don't fade, they flood. It's the world's most beautiful illusion. Shimmering canals, singing gondoliers, and bridges that look like they were painted by a Renaissance god. Then the plane lands, the magic fades, and you realize the city smells like a wet dog wearing perfume. Every first-timer makes the same mistake, thinking Venice is romantic. In truth, it's a damp obstacle course. Streets that look charming on Google Maps turn out to be dead ends. Bridges multiply like bad decisions, and dragging a suitcase over cobblestones is the closest thing to medieval punishment still legal in Europe. And let's talk money. Everything in Venice costs double, because everything in Venice must arrive by boat. Water taxis can set you back 100 euros before you even blink. Sit at a cafe in St. Mark's Square, and you'll pay 12 euros for a cappuccino serenaded by an accordion and 17 pigeons. A visitor once joked, "It's the only city where the water level rises faster than your credit card bill." Safety-wise, Venice isn't dangerous, it's deceptive. Scams thrive in its romance. Fake Murano glass, private gondola rip-offs, exclusive walking tours that end in souvenir shops. Locals are friendly, but distant. They've seen too many tourists treat their home like a theme park. Still, the place is hypnotic. When the cruise ships leave, the light softens and the canals fall silent. Venice becomes what it once was: fragile, surreal, impossibly beautiful. It's a city that still knows how to seduce you, even while it's sinking. So yes, it edges out Rome. Not because it's less chaotic, but because for a few fleeting hours, when the world forgets about it, Venice remembers how to be itself again. Number 12. Barcelona. Under the Spanish sun, Barcelona greets you with sangria, color, and a crowd so thick it feels choreographed. It's the city everyone raves about, vibrant, artistic, alive. And yes, it really is all of that, but it's also loud, restless, and so crowded that even Gaudí would have a meltdown trying to find peace in Park Güell today. The problem isn't the city itself, it's what it's become. Every inch of La Rambla, once a charming boulevard, now feels like an amusement park for jet-lagged foreigners. Locals have learned to dodge selfie sticks the way matadors dodge bulls. You can't even stop for tapas without 3 menu promoters trying to lure you into their authentic restaurant serving microwaved paella. And yet, there's a darker side to all this joy. Petty crime runs rampant. Pickpockets, bag snatchers, even fake police officers targeting tourists. The city's beauty makes you drop your guard, and Barcelona loves to remind you of it. One traveler summed it up with brutal honesty: "I came for Gaudí and left without my wallet." Then there's the price of popularity. Locals are fed up, rent is astronomical, and signs reading "Tourists go home" aren't graffiti, they're genuine pleas. Tourism has turned neighborhoods into stage sets and families into landlords. But here's the paradox: Barcelona is still breathtaking. The architecture glows, the sea shimmers, and the nightlife hums with energy you can't fake. It's a city caught between beauty and burnout, passion and protest, a masterpiece being worn thin by admiration. If you go early, wander far, and eat where no menu has pictures. That's where the real Barcelona hides, quietly, stubbornly, behind the noise. Number 11. Athens. In the birthplace of democracy, chaos still reigns. Ancient, brilliant, and beautifully broken, Athens greets you, not with gods and glory, but with a rush of hot air, a chorus of car horns, and the unmistakable scent of souvlaki tangled with exhaust. Civilization started here, and so did the traffic. There's no denying the history. The Acropolis still stands like a stubborn miracle, and when you see it glowing under the sunset, it feels eternal. But everything leading up to that moment, less divine. Cracked sidewalks, graffiti that outnumbers the tourists, and street vendors who seem to materialize out of thin air every time you glance at your phone. Scams here have their own mythology. Friendly locals offering directions that end in souvenir shops, taxi drivers who interpret meters like abstract art, and restaurant bills that multiply faster than the olives in your salad. Athens rewards curiosity but punishes naivety. and travelers who confuse friendliness with free advice quickly learn the difference. The city itself feels worn but defiant. Poverty and politics left scars, yet there's an undeniable pulse beneath the chaos. Late-night tavernas spill music onto cracked streets, and locals debate everything from philosophy to soccer with the same fiery conviction. It's gritty, messy, alive, and strangely unforgettable. Athens isn't the polished postcard version of Greece. It's the backstage, loud, honest, and slightly unpredictable. You won't leave untouched. Whether that's a warning or a promise depends on how much adventure you can handle. Number 10. Cancun. The sun hits you before you even step out of the airport, thick, relentless, and humming with the scent of sunscreen and tequila. It feels like the start of a perfect vacation, the kind that travel ads are made of. But give it a few hours, and you'll realize Cancun is less a destination and more an amusement park for adults who lost their passports somewhere between the pool bar and the souvenir shop. Everything here is built for tourists, not travelers. The beach, stunning, until you notice it's lined with mega resorts, each one competing to see who can pump the loudest music or offer the cheapest, authentic margarita. Venture beyond the polished lobbies and infinity pools, and the illusion starts to crack. The local streets are chaotic, uneven, and dotted with salesmen who can spot a tourist faster than a shark smells blood. Then there's the sargassum, the seasonal seaweed bloom that turns Cancun's postcard-perfect water into something resembling miso soup. Hotels try to rake it away, but it's a losing battle. And let's not forget the heat. It doesn't just warm you, it engulfs you. One traveler said it best, it's like standing inside a blow dryer that smells faintly of tequila. Safety-wise, Cancun isn't dangerous in a dramatic way, but complacency is. Scams are subtle, taxis without meters, free tours with hidden charges, and overpriced trinkets disguised as Mayan art. It's less about crime and more about constant negotiation. Still, beneath the commercial chaos, fragments of real Mexico peek through. A street taco stand in downtown, a local cafe with no menu in English, a bus driver humming to old ranchera songs. For a brief moment, it feels genuine again. Cancun isn't the worst place to unwind. Just don't mistake the party for paradise. Number 9. Dubai. If Cancun is a man-made playground built for fun, Dubai is one built for awe, or at least for Instagram. It's the world's monument to ambition. Skyscrapers taller than reason, malls bigger than small towns, and indoor ski slopes in the middle of the desert. On paper, it's impressive. In person, it feels like stepping into a glossy simulation of what a city should be. Only nobody told the software how humans actually live. The first straight thing that hits you isn't the architecture, it's the heat. Dubai in summer doesn't just sizzle, it scorches. The kind of heat that makes you question your life choices halfway through crossing the street. Locals disappear indoors by noon, and tourists shuffle between air-conditioned malls like penguins lost in a luxury freezer. Then comes the price of perfection. Everything gleams, but nothing feels alive. Conversations revolve around brunches, Bentleys, and building the next tallest thing. Behind the spectacle lies the labor that makes it possible, an invisible workforce that keeps the dream spotless, often under brutal conditions. Visitors rarely see it, but it's there, quietly reminding you that paradise here runs on rules. And yet Dubai is safe, unnervingly so. Streets are spotless, crime is nearly non-existent, and even at 2 a.m., you could leave your wallet on a bench and find it untouched. But there's a trade-off. Spontaneity dies in the desert. You can't just wander, you consume. Everything's curated, priced, and polished to the point of sterility. Coming from Cancun's carefree chaos, Dubai feels like the polar opposite, controlled, glittering, and oddly hollow. It's a city that dazzles you into submission, until you realize it's hard to feel wonder when everything's designed to impress. Next up, a city that trades luxury for legacy, where history still breathes, but your wallet might not. Number 8. London. The plane touches down and you already feel it, that crisp, dignified charm that only London seems to carry. The history, the accents, the sense that every street could lead to a story. It's no wonder millions of American retirees put it at the top of their finally going list. But here's the twist. For a city that invented understatement, London's prices are anything but subtle. It starts the moment you blink at a hotel bill. £300 a night for a room that could fit comfortably inside your luggage. A pint costs more than a meal used to, and the famous black cabs? Let's just say their meters spin faster than the London Eye. Even the rain feels expensive. It's the kind that soaks your soul, not just your clothes. Then comes the crowds. Every museum, market, and palace is packed like a royal wedding reception. You queue for everything. Fish and chips, the tube, even the bathroom at Heathrow. Locals glide past unfazed, but you'll feel like you're trapped in a polite stampede. One traveler summed it up neatly. London isn't a city you visit. It's a queue with architecture. Safety isn't the issue. Vigilance is. Scams here wear suits. Fake theater tickets, exclusive tours that lead nowhere, and restaurant bills padded like palace cushions. It's not dangerous, just quietly opportunistic. Still, London has that rare thing most global cities lose: soul that refuses to be erased. A pint by the Thames at sunset, a busker echoing through Covent Garden, or a morning walk through misty Hyde Park. It still hits something ancient and sincere. Compared to Dubai's gleaming perfection, London's imperfections feel almost comforting. And as we leave the rain-soaked charm behind, we head toward warmer shores, a paradise that somehow forgot how to relax. Number 7. Honolulu. By the time you land, the air already smells like sunscreen and nostalgia. Honolulu is the promise of paradise: turquoise water, golden sunsets, lays, and luau's. It's the dream vacation your parents always talked about, the postcard that defined escape. But the truth, that postcard's been photocopied one too many times. Hawaii is still breathtaking. That part hasn't changed. The ocean really is that blue, and the sunsets still look filtered by heaven itself. What's changed is everything around it. Waikiki, once serene, now feels like Las Vegas in board shorts. Every inch of sand is claimed by hotels, beach chairs, and selfie sticks. You can't walk 5 minutes without someone offering you a surf lesson, a timeshare, or a $22 authentic piña colada. And then there's the price tag. Honolulu has quietly become one of America's most expensive cities. Not just for locals, but for anyone foolish enough to forget how currency conversion works when ordering poke bowls. Even paradise demands rent. One visitor put it perfectly: the view was free. Everything else cost half my retirement. Safety-wise, it's no war zone, but it's not the carefree haven brochures sell. Petty theft and tourist scams have found their place in paradise. Some neighborhoods look postcard perfect by day, but feel uneasy at night. The bigger problem, though, is exhaustion. Not yours, Hawaii's. Locals are weary of over-tourism, and honestly, who can blame them? Still, the spirit of aloha isn't dead. You'll find it on quieter beaches, roadside diners serving plate lunch, and early morning surfers who treat the ocean like a church. Honolulu's beauty hasn't vanished. It's just buried under crowds and credit card debt. Leaving the islands behind, the next stop brings us back to the mainland, to a place that claims to be magical, depending on how much chaos you can handle. Number 6. Orlando. It begins with excitement, palm trees, billboards, and that familiar promise: the most magical place on earth. For millions of travelers, especially families and retirees chasing one last grandkids' adventure, Orlando is a pilgrimage. But the truth behind the mouse ears, it's less fairy tale and more financial thriller. The city revolves around its theme parks, and they're spectacular, yes, but also designed to drain your wallet faster than you can say Fast Pass. Tickets, parking, snacks, souvenir wands that cost as much as your flight. It all adds up to an emotional roller coaster that makes the physical ones feel gentle. You'll spend half your day waiting in lines and the other half wondering where your patience went. And then there's the heat. Heavy, humid, relentless. Midday in Orlando feels like walking through hot soup while being serenaded by crying toddlers and the faint buzz of malfunctioning animatronics. Storm clouds appear like clockwork, drenching everything in seconds before the sun re-emerges just to finish cooking you alive. Beyond the parks, Orlando struggles to show you what's real. Strip malls, chain restaurants, and identical resorts stretch for miles. Step outside the magic zone, and the illusion fades fast. This is a city built for visitors, not residents. One tourist captured it perfectly. It's like living inside a commercial that never ends. Safety isn't a huge concern here, but the scams are. Vacation rental deals, fake ticket sellers, and overpriced VIP experiences prey on exhausted travelers who just want one day of magic without another line. And yet, for all its chaos, there's something weirdly American about Orlando. The relentless optimism, the obsession with fun, the belief that if you throw enough fireworks at a problem, it'll sparkle. Our next destination trades fireworks for tranquility, a place that swaps chaos for calm, almost. Number 5. Kyoto. After the noise, heat, and chaos of the last few destinations, Kyoto feels like stepping into a whisper. The city moves at a slower rhythm, one shaped by centuries of ceremony and restraint. Cherry blossoms drift through temple courtyards, monks sweep paths in silence, and the air smells faintly of cedar and incense. It's easy to see why so many travelers, especially older ones, come here looking for something deeper than another Instagram backdrop. But Kyoto's beauty is fragile, and these days it's struggling under the weight of its own fame. The temples still gleam, but they're surrounded by lines of tourists armed with selfie sticks and rented kimonos. Streets once known for quiet tea houses now echo with tour bus chatter. Even the famous bamboo grove of Arashiyama feels more like a queue than a sanctuary. The city hasn't lost its soul, but it's learning to hide it better. Despite the crowds, Kyoto still rewards patience. Wander off the main routes, and the noise melts away. You'll stumble into tiny shrines tucked between wooden houses, old men feeding koi in forgotten ponds, and the kind of quiet that feels like time itself has paused to breathe. It's also safe, refreshingly so. You can walk alone at midnight under paper lanterns without a flicker of worry. People are reserved but kind, and hospitality here is quiet, not performative. Kyoto doesn't beg for attention, it earns it. It's not perfect. It's crowded, expensive, and occasionally over-curated, but it's still real. The kind of place where calm isn't a luxury, it's a way of life. And as we leave Japan's soft glow behind, our journey turns toward Europe once more, to a city where charm and history meet in perfect beer-scented harmony. Number 4. Prague. There's something almost unfair about how effortlessly Prague charms you. One moment you're crossing the Charles Bridge at dawn, the next you're convinced you've stepped into a fairy tale. The spires glow gold, the river hums quietly beneath you, and even the cobblestones seem to have rhythm. For travelers, especially those who've seen too many chaotic capitals, Prague feels like an exhale. What makes it special is balance. It's grand without being overwhelming, historic without feeling like a museum. You can wander for hours here and never feel lost, only pleasantly distracted. One turn leads to a Baroque church, another to a jazz club tucked into a basement older than your country. It's beautiful, yes, but it's also alive. And somehow it's still affordable, a rarity in Europe. You can get a world-class beer for the price of bottled water and a plate of goulash that could feed a small army. It's no wonder Prague attracts retirees and wanderers alike. It delivers elegance without arrogance, but don't mistake it for flawless. The city's beauty has made it a victim of its own success. Summer brings crowds that fill Old Town like a living postcard, and souvenir shops threaten to outnumber locals. Petty scams still lurk, taxi drivers with creative meters, exchange offices that could write textbooks on deception. Yet even that feels almost harmless here, as if Prague refuses to let cynicism take root. What truly sets it apart is its mood, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to impress you. Prague doesn't chase your admiration, it simply exists, steady and self-assured, as it has for centuries. Next, we trade Gothic towers for mountain peaks, where the air gets cleaner, the crowds thinner, and the views almost unreal. Number 3. Lucerne. Some cities need to prove themselves. Lucerne just opens the window. Snow-capped peaks shimmer on the horizon. The lake mirrors the sky, and church bells echo softly between centuries-old buildings that look too perfect to be real. It's the kind of place that makes you pause mid-step, wondering if someone secretly turned up the saturation on reality. What makes Lucerne remarkable isn't just its beauty. Peace. The streets are spotless, the air feels filtered by angels, and even the trains run with a level of precision that borders on choreography. It's safe, calm, and deeply civilized. An antidote to the chaos of modern travel. You don't have to guard your wallet or your patience here. You can just exist. That said, serenity comes with a price tag. Switzerland doesn't do cheap, and Lucerne is no exception. A coffee can cost as much as a meal elsewhere, and hotels treat budget like an abstract concept. But in return, you get something that money rarely buys: stillness, the kind that seeps into you slowly, between the lapping of lake water and the distant hum of a ferry. Lucerne doesn't shout for your attention, it hums. Locals greet you with quiet warmth, not performance. A stranger will hold a door for you, then vanish without expecting thanks. The rhythm here is slower, intentional, and soothing in ways few cities manage anymore. You don't come to Lucerne for excitement. You come to remember what peace feels like. It's Europe at its most composed, its most refined, and its most human. And as we leave Switzerland's tranquil perfection behind, the journey turns warmer, to a sun-bleached island where serenity meets spectacle in one breathtaking view. Santorini. It's the island that broke the internet. Whitewashed cliffs, cobalt domes, sunsets that look photoshopped in real time. Santorini is the fantasy Greece everyone dreams of. The image printed on every travel brochure since the dawn of Instagram. And the thing is, it really is that beautiful. The Aegean glows electric blue, and when the light hits Oya just before dusk, it's like standing inside a postcard. But behind that perfect view lies a quiet truth. Paradise has a crowd problem. During peak season, the island can see up to 20,000 visitors a day. Narrow streets built for donkeys now buckle under an army of selfie sticks and sunburned tourists. Finding a quiet moment here feels like trying to meditate at a rock concert. The same restaurants everyone swears by, booked out weeks in advance. The iconic sunset spot, you'll share it with thousands of others, all holding their phones in reverent silence like worshippers at the altar of Wi-Fi. Still, Santorini has something the others lost. Authenticity that refuses to die. Wander early, before the cruise ships dock, and you'll find locals sweeping their doorsteps, fishermen untangling nets, and the smell of coffee drifting from tiny balconies. The magic is still there. You just have to catch it before the hashtags do. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's crowded. And yes, you'll probably get sunburned and slightly scammed by a taxi driver. But somehow, it's all worth it. Santorini doesn't just show you beauty. It reminds you that perfection, even when flawed, can still take your breath away. And from this glowing cliffside, our final stop takes us even farther, to a place where nature, not tourists, sets the rules. Number 1. New Zealand. This is what the end of the world looks like, in the best possible way. Mountains that look hand-carved by gods, lakes so blue they seem backlit, and silence so pure it hums. The South Island of New Zealand isn't just a destination, it's a reminder that the planet still has corners where wonder hasn't been monetized. There are no towering resorts here, no lines, no chaos. You can drive for hours through emerald valleys and see more sheep than people. Towns feel timeless, small cafes serving homemade pies, strangers waving at you on empty roads, stars so bright they make you forget electricity exists. It's not luxury that defines this place, it's space, the rare, priceless kind that stretches both around and inside you. Adventure here isn't staged, it's stitched into the land. You can kayak through fjords older than history, hike peaks that look like movie sets, because many are, and finish the day with local wine that tastes like peace itself. Safety isn't a question. Danger here comes only from underestimating how many photos you'll take before your phone dies. What truly sets it apart is honesty. The beauty here doesn't perform, it just is. No filters, no gimmicks, no curated experiences pretending to be authentic. The South Island doesn't need your approval, it offers its silence and lets you find meaning in it. If the world's tourist traps teach you how small travel can feel, New Zealand's South Island reminds you how vast it still is. It's not a vacation, it's a reset. And maybe that's the real destination we've all been chasing. And there it is, 15 destinations, 15 hard truths about the places we love to romanticize. Some lost their soul to crowds, others to commercialization, and a few somehow kept their magic alive against all odds. Travel isn't just about where you go, it's about what you find when the filters fade. Now I want to hear from you. What's the most overrated place you've ever been? The city that looked perfect online but fell flat in person? Or maybe the one that completely surprised you and proved everyone wrong? Drop your story in the comments, the good, the bad, and the jet-lagged. And if you love digging into the hidden side of travel, the myths, the rip-offs, and the rare places that are still worth every mile, make sure to hit subscribe. Because next time, we're unpacking another truth about how the world really looks once you're there to see it.